All right, Phil, thank you. Most Americans just are not getting enough sleep.
The Centers for Disease Control recommends 7 to 9 hours a night, but a third of adults are getting much less than that. So what's keeping us up at night? Here to discuss is Dr. Sabrina Fabi. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, guys.
You know, I think that it's a two-part question.
Yes.
You know, why is it important for us to get sleep? And of course, why are we not getting enough of it?
Right, and so the United States right now averages 6.8 hours a night of sleep. And so New Zealand actually is the best country where they're getting about 7.5 hours of sleep. And ideally, you want it to be somewhere between 7 to 9. We all have our own individual clock. But why are we seeing a change? It's actually shortened by an hour since 1942. And I think one of the biggest things is the amount of stress that we have on our plate, all the things that we have to get done, but also our iPhones and our other technologies that we have in the bedroom that we may not have had many years ago. And so I've covered before that if you get exposed to that blue light on your phone, on your tablet, or on your television, within 3 hours of going to bed, it will not allow you to go to bed as readily. And in another segment, I covered that if even you have light coming out from outside that is not yellow light, but just like light that's coming from a billboard or something, or lamps outside, that it will also impair your sleep. And so that's probably another reason why we're seeing this problem in being able to fall asleep or stay asleep. But the implication on our health is that when we sleep, it restores, it allows our cells to be restored. It also allows our brain to clear up certain toxins that allow our brain to function better. And if we are not able to clear those toxins, that can have long-term health implications as far as memory and Alzheimer's. But it also has an effect in our hormone release. And so if you don't have enough sleep, you can increase your levels of cortisol. And cortisol has very deleterious effects on our entire body, anywhere from cardiovascular disease to making you want to gain weight, to making you put you at risk for an increase in diabetes, as well as now we know an increase in depression.
All right, so I feel like you're talking directly to me here.
I know.
Okay?
Well, because you told me that you average 6
to
hours of sleep.
iPhone at all times. I think I have a light outside my bedroom. I have diabetes,
So
but that's not because of that.
Blackout
Okay, so
shades.
what's the effect here when you're not getting enough sleep? You're getting 6 hours of sleep. I think 6 hours is a good number because it's divisible by 3. You're telling me I'm nuts.
No, you're not. So 6 hours of sleep over 2 weeks, if you average that over 2 weeks, it ends up being like pulling 2 consecutive all-nighters. If you do this chronically, which is what you're telling me, it ends up putting you at risk 13% chance of you dying early.
So you're talking about 2 weeks. Now what happens? I've been a parent for 11 years. So what does that mean?
And the hard times have not even happened yet. They're not. They have not 13, 15, and 18, right? That will only increase your chance of decreasing your life expectancy. So that's the reality. What can you do about it? So eliminating some type of blue light in your room. So not watching television, if you can get in the habit of not watching it at night. Putting a night shift mode on your phone. So if you happen to want to read before you go to bed, or on a tablet or on your phone, putting night shift. I have my night shift mode kick in at 5 p.m. so that I only have orange light coming at me. Or even getting in that habit of reading. The thing is that if you read your handbook, then you need some type of light on that, and that can keep you up. And so doing those types of things, meditation and yoga, believe it or not.
What about power napping? Does that help?
Naps do help.
Okay.
They do help, but I just think that it's very hard and not practical for many people in the United States. That would be actually wonderful if we could, but at least if you can't, then eliminating these things. Not drinking caffeine past 2 p.m., not drinking alcohol at night, because that will not allow you to go into the deep sleep, restorative sleep that you do need. So alcohol and caffeine are no-nos.
Check.
And then
check.
In some studies, melatonin has been found to help. Many people, actually most Americans reported, 80% of people reported having some type, you're not alone, some type of sleep disturbance at least once a week in a recent survey that was done. And they've tried some type of herbal supplement, melatonin being the most common form. You just have to make sure that you recognize that these supplements are not regulated like drugs are. So the dose that you see on the bottle may not necessarily be the same dose or the right dose that you think you're taking, because they're not being regulated as thoroughly. So try to stick between 5, no more than 10 milligrams. And the American Sleep Association does not recommend you be on it for greater than 3 months, because it is mimicking a hormone that we naturally secrete to put us to sleep. And so we don't know the long-term implications on that hormone if you do take melatonin over the counter.
All right, but get more sleep.
Get more
Bottom
sleep.
line.
Meditate.
That's the thing. Meditate, power nap.
Levitate.
Sounds good. Get through those teams. Levitate. That's a whole nother discussion.
That's a
Dr.
whole
Sabrina
other one.
Fabi, thank you so much as always. Hey, we want to remind everybody